We'd like to welcome all at ISKCON of Silicon Valley for this Sunday Feast lecture. I'm very privileged to be given this opportunity. Been traveling for last few months, and thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. And happy to be here. What we are going to do are few things. First, we'll have some small Kirtan. Today, the topic of today's presentation is going to be total lifestyle management from Bhagavad Gita. So what I have tried to do is look into what as an individual, how we have to actually structure our life as per Bhagavad Gita. And also then what I'm going to do is most of us are living here in Bay Area, working in IT companies, playing various roles from developers all the way to CEOs. And what I'll try to do is a day in life where we have to make decisions. I have tried to treat those part in that presentation. And then think of it, I just left my laptop at home, so we'll try to see how things go from here, okay? Hopefully by that time the laptop will arrive. But till that time, we will actually start with the bhajan. So the way it will go is, it's Sachi Sutta Naam Ashtakam Prabhu. Shri Sachi Sutta Naam Ashtakam. Nava Gauravaram Nava Pushpa. Yeah, go up. Nah, this is the one, yeah. So it goes like, I will say the first line, then you can repeat the the first line, okay? It's a very beautiful bhajan, and it glorifies Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. We recently had Gaur Purnima last Sunday, and Laguna Beach celebrated regional Gaur Purnima yesterday. Vaisheshika Prabhu was there. And, we are practically here because of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually. Because if Mahaprabhu would not have started this Sankirtan movement, we practically would not have been able to pick up what he wanted. And the teachings from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were picked by the Parampara. And there are three things actually which are important. One is faith, second is attitude, and third is action. So what has happened is Mahaprabhu compiled that, gave it to Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami then in his selection with Nectar of Instruction, which few of you were reading before this, Nectar of Devotion, various other texts which he created. And then the Parampara continued, and it was Bhakti Vinod Thakur who actually wrote so many, over 100 books. And his mood was to increase the faith of a devotee in the process. And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his illustrious son, he came in and he started putting the right attitude, like strictness, purity, let's do this, let's do that. And then when Srila Prabhupada came, Srila Prabhupada took these two qualities and take the action part of it. So that's why you look at almost all conversations of Srila Prabhupada, there is an urgency of time. There is a sense of we have to do things. If Srila Prabhupada was like the mover and shaker, correct? So a lot of actions around. And practically, if you look at it, whether it's book distribution, whether it's temple creation, whether it's prasad distribution, everything is around mobilizing people. That's why Prabhupada called it movement, is how do we actually create mobilization, correct? He, instead of sitting at Vrindavan, he actually decided to move out. That's what he promotes all of us. And that's the mood which was there, followed by, say, for example, Nityananda Prabhu or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Haridas Thakur. They used to go door to door and beg people to chant the holy names of the Lord. So just following on their footsteps, we'll take the benediction from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this nice prayer. Nava Gauravaram Nava Pushpasaram Nava Gauravaram Nava Pushpasharam Nava Bhavadharam Nava Lasya Param Navahasya Karam Navahemavaram. Welcome, Babru Prabhu. Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Nava Prema Yutam Nava Nitya Shucham Nava Vesha Kritam Nava Prema Rasam Navadha Vilasa Shubha Prema Mayam Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Next. Hari Bhakti Param Hari Namadharam Karajapya Karam Hari Nama Param Nayane Satatam Pranaya Shudharam Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Satatam Janata Bhavatapaharam Paramartha Parayana Lokagatim Navalehakaram Jagatapaharam Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Nija Bhakti Karam Priya Charutaram Natanartana Nagar Rajakulam Kulakami Manasalasya Karam Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Kartalavalam Kalakantaravam Mriduvadya Suvinika Madhuram. Prabhu, please. Nija Bhakti Kara, Nija Bhakti Gunavrata Natya Karam. Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Pranamami Sachi Suta Gauravaram Yuga Dharma Yutam Punananda Sutam Dharani Suchitram Bhava Bhavochitam Tanu Dhyana Chitam Nijavasayutam Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Arunam Nayanam Charanam Vasanam Vadane Skhalitam Swakanamadharam Kurute Surasam Jagata Jivanam Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. I've been asked to read this. Those devotees who have parked in parking lot, kindly move your cars outside. This is per CPO, Child Protection Officer, every Sunday. So please take out your car, including my car. Unnati, can you please, when Mama comes, just take it out, yeah? I thought today probably the rule doesn't apply, huh? By the way, I'm feeling little hot, huh? It's nothing to do with ecstasy which I'm getting, but we can have fan on if you guys need, yeah? So what we are going to read today is, we wanted to actually discuss about how do we actually set up our life around on principles of Bhagavad Gita. So what I'm going to do is, let's try to read today first, my favorite 6.7. Maybe we can switch it off because there is some. Prabhu, if you can get to 6.17. And before that, let's go to introduction, just to follow the Mangalacharan prayers. All started? So very beautiful. This book is actually, if we read this book from beginning to end, it has all the right passport. Tomorrow I am actually going for citizenship interview for United States, and I was just meditating on this book, and I felt this is a perfect passport for Golok Vrindavan. So if you don't have any other book, just this book, but read this book, eat this book, reflect on this book. What I'm planning to do in this today's journey, try to pick sentences which Prabhupada actually wrote. And when Prabhupada says, my ecstasies are in my purport, I wanted us to feel some small dust particles of it, okay, in this session, if Krishna willing. And it's very important for us to go through all these details. Prabhupada, you know how Prabhupada sacrificed his sleep to leave literature like this for us. So we need, and I was talking with my dear respected one of my mentor, His Grace Naveen Neerath Prabhu, that one fine day when I woke up and I was reading all these tests, and it says, are you from a nobility? Like, whether you inherit any title and all. And I was thinking about it. And this is one of the questions which they ask while you are giving your US citizenship exam. Whether you belong to a family of dukes or knights, and then you have to disclose. And I was thinking, oh my God, yes, I belong to a family, correct? And obviously there's a biological family. And I was thinking about my grandfather. He was a very illustrious man, said Sakhi-Chand, my father. And then I was more inclined towards our spiritual lineage. And oh my Lord, I was very disturbed. And I'll tell you why. First of all, it's like if you are, say for example, right now, say wife of Donald Trump, correct? There must be a lot of stress his wife now is going through than what she would have been going through a year back, correct? The attention, the expectation, she cannot like walk freely like that, correct? Similarly, daughters of, say, Obama earlier, like look at our kids go freely here and there, correct? But if the parents are little bigger, then the kids have that aspirations that, oh, look at these daughters of Obama. Like if you look at what are the qualification of those two girls of Obama? If I don't even know whether they are high school pass or fail, whether they are good students or not, correct? But then it creates an aura around them, Similarly, I was thinking, okay, let me see on the spiritual heritage. Now, fortunately, by my luck, I have been inducted in this Shri Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara, correct? Somehow, right now, I am in middle of the things, correct? And I started reflecting, am I actually even worth to be calling myself in the lineage of such exalted devotees? So let's take an example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu anyway is there, correct? Comparing, like, come on, yeah? But let's talk about people who are close by, correct? Srila Prabhupada walked the surface like Hardly 50 years back, 40, 50 years back, Prabhupada was walking on this surface, correct? We can connect. What Prabhupada did, what purity Prabhupada did, or our spiritual masters. Let's talk about Vaisheshika Prabhu. Say, for example, our local leader, correct? I have been seeing Prabhu for last 10 to 12 years, practically. Most of us, people can connect. How we have seen Prabhu, like from 2004 onwards till now. That's when I started seeing Vaisheshika Prabhu. And I tell you, it's a journey, and I don't think when I see Prabhu, like so many hours he spends in reading books, distributing books. Always, everything what he speaks is as per what Vaishnavas, Acharyas have said. Like everything, so transparent in his dealings. Correct? When we look at Prabhupada, and similarly other initiating God brothers of Vaisheshika Prabhu, as well as non-initiating, so you can see how people have actually lived their life. And then, when I started looking, okay, Prabhupada, oh my God, Prabhupada is like a Dhruva planet. When I see so many other stalwarts, like Vaisheshika Prabhu, my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, so many to name, correct? Each is having a special flavor. And then, how do we access Prabhupada is through his books. And when we read purpose and say, oh my God, aha, this is what Prabhupada said. Say, for example, Prabhupada said, this is the central point of Bhagavad Gita. And I'll ask that question when it comes. And we should be knowing this, like, cut. And then say, correct? It's there in the preface, by the way. So, those are the kind of details. I was thinking, oh, Prabhupada is writing all those things. What is the mood of Prabhupada? Can I even get like 1 million times of where Srila Prabhupada is? And then when we compare Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his purity, his intelligence, his way of organizing things, are we even closer? Like I was feeling so degraded. I am degraded actually. To even consider that to be part of that nobility, that race. And this is not a question for just me, this is a question for all of us. Like, it's not just we are coming here, we are wearing a Vaishnav tilak, we are wearing a dress on a Saturday and a Sunday. No, that is not what a family means. Family means you are there 7 days a week, correct? Full time. And it should be transparent, inside, outside, same. It's not that when devotees are there, oh, Prabhu, Dandavats, I'm so humble. No, nothing like that. Huh? You can cheat, but, Krishna is a better cheater. You will be cheated very dearly by Krishna at the end. Correct? Don't try that. Don't even go that side. Huh? Not worth. Use this time, anyway we are trying to surrender to Krishna. Use this time nicely. Yeah? So, I went into, I think I am not qualified when I look at like what the lineage like Srila Ishwar Puri, Gaurang Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, oh my God, how can we actually somehow or the, so that's why when we have bhajans like Patita Pavana Hetu, correct? These are exactly the words that should hit you like a bullet. Actually, how can people look at today we are given this chance of getting into the realm of these devotees. That privilege has been granted to us. And I'm not saying me, but later some of us may become initiating spiritual masters. It's going to happen, huh? Something is going to happen, correct? Are we preparing ourselves? Maybe Vaisheshika Prabhu also had the similar question 20 years back. And look at how he has shaped his life. So those were the kind of things which were going in my mind and heart. Are we using the best opportunities which are provided to us? Those is the core part which I would like to discuss today. We'll start with Mangala Charan Prabhu. I'll follow this, okay? Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Svitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya cha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you so much. My laptop arrived on time. So the way we'll do is, I will tell part of it, and then for the purports, we'll go back to the screen, okay? Prabhu, can we have projection of my slides? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Yes? Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Do you have a MacBook, Prabhu? PDF? Okay. Hare Krishna, it's very close. I think I have some offenses left, so that's why it's taking time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let me try again. Gauranga. Let's see. Yeah, looks like today I have some bad karma, but by chanting the names of Lord Gora, things get better. So I'm hoping things will come up. Otherwise, we'll use the what Prabhu has. Okay. So basically, this what I wanted to do was talk. First part, I want to talk very basic about yoga, and then eventually we'll go back to some readings about how do we actually live a very balanced life. So yoga, as you know, means connection, derived from Sanskrit word yuja. And it's very important whenever you are, say, for example, most of you are engineers, except few of you, it means you need to have a relationship, correct? There is a table, there will be a relationship, entities and relationship, correct? And so you need to understand when you're doing a connection of what? So stupid people doing Bikram yoga with half naked body, temperature of 140 Fahrenheit, high humidity, they don't know what kind of, yoga they are trying to do, correct? So it's very important that, it works like this. Oh my God, this is like awesome. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, here we are. So it means that what are the connections? What are the kind of entities which we are talking about, correct? So it is actually, I'll start again at a very basic level and I'll progress if Krishna permits. Yeah, so it means a connection of your soul with the super soul, and the process of connection is called devotional service or bhakti. Okay, so what I want is let's try to see who we are. That I'm not going to talk right now. This is like everybody is expected to understand that they are not this body, they are spirit soul. Everybody here, please raise your hand if you believe you are a soul. Almost everybody. Raise hand if you believe you are a body. Perfect class. Yeah, very good. You know that you are all haunted bodies? Raise hand if you know you are a haunted body. Very good. 2, 3. What it means is, haunted means what? if your body has something else. Correct? So I am telling you, it's there in Bhagavad Gita, every body has super soul inside. Yeah? So you have super soul inside you besides your soul. So all of you have besides, so think of it, the paradigm in which you are doing certain thing and there's a camera who is watching everything. Huh? So earlier when I used to think, arey yaar fekhta hai, you know why? Itta data generate ho raha hai. So much data is getting generated. Who is watching? Huh? But now with big data, even that we are seeing, you know, how things are unearthing, correct? So many things, super soul is watching, waiting when this guy will get ready, you know. Like almost like a mother who is she is waiting for when the child is ready to come, say, Mama, I'm done, I want to come to you, correct? So that's how super soul is waiting for us, permitting every stupid desires, good desires which we are having. So the idea will be here, instead of thinking what is, so start observing what is changing, what is constant. Okay, so that's one basic thing. I'm not going to discuss all of these things. Huh? I'm just trying to set the foundation before we go. Huh? Become an observer, drishta. Huh? All this concept, our Bhakti Shastri Guru has been teaching, we have been following, correct? So I'm not going to talk anything around that. We want to just today do a manthan of Srila Prabhupada's purport later. Huh? First, as I said, few of the part is more like, because it's a Sunday class, I wanted to start the level and then go down. Definition of soul, we already talk about. We are not this body and spirit soul. We are not the controller. Huh? We are subordinate, but we are always controlled. Everybody agrees on that or not? Huh? You're controlled by your wife, you're controlled by your boss, you're controlled by everything around, correct? And God is obviously the main power, correct? So, if you're thinking, I control the outcome of things, again, please, that's not the case, yeah? We are getting tossed up. And what we can do is try to make the best use of where we are. Fair? So far, everybody with me? Yeah? I was asked to talk about, you know, how do we actually work it out, like balance, correct? So this is what I have tried to discuss about the verse from Bhagavad Gita 6.17, which is yuktahara viharasya yukta chestase karmasu yukta swapna va bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. And let's do word by word. Yuktaha, regulated. Ahara, eating. Viharasya, recreation. Yukta, regulated. Chestasya, of one who works for maintenance. Karmasu, in discharging duties. Yuktaha, regulated. Swapna avabodhasya, sleep and wakefulness. Yogaha, practice of yoga. Bhavati, becomes. Dukkhaha, diminishing pains. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. Please repeat. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. So this is the instruction Krishna has left for everyone. Okay, not only devotees, but also for everyone. So in any work, anything which you are doing, this becomes more like a manual. So you know that when a machine is built, there's a manual created, correct? That's what something Bal Govind Prabhu said when we were in San Bruno temple few years back. So Krishna has very kindly left this book, instruction in this book, and he has left this as one of the instruction. So people, jivas, can regulate this body. And what Krishna is saying is, irrespective whatever you are doing, and that becomes a soul, a core part of when we are in this, say most of us are grahastas, when we are living our job, we have occupational duty to do, then we have to be regulated in what we are doing. How we are eating, what we are sleeping, recreating and doing work. Work is what I try to keep as a pivotal for today's discussion. Correct? So, it requires certain things. Can we go into the purport, Prabhuji? Let's try to read the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Extravagance in the matter of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, which are demands of the body, can block advancement in the practice of yoga. Yeah? As far as eating is concerned, it can be regulated only when one is practiced to take and accept prasadam, sanctified food. Lord Krishna is offered according to Bhagavad Gita 9:26, Patram Pushpam, vegetable, flowers, fruits, grains, milks, etc. In this way, a person in Krishna conscious becomes automatically trained not to accept food not meant for human consumption. And we will read in chapter 18, Krishna has defined what are food good for, mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. We'll try to see that, okay? As far as sleeping is concerned, a Krishna conscious person is always alert in the discharge of his duties in Krishna consciousness. And therefore, any unnecessarily time spent sleeping is considered a great loss. Avyartha kalatvam, a Krishna conscious person cannot bear to pass a minute of his life without being engaged in the service of the Lord. So this is actually the feeling I had when I was talking about we have been added in the parampara system. So I typically, like when I see Vaisheshika Prabhu, even when he's talking and he's walking, he has his, counter. I was thinking and meditating, when will the time be there when I feel like I'm not able to sleep in night? Because thinking what will happen to the world, how so much of issues. So look at it. Srila Prabhupada manifested those things. He waking up writing purports is nothing but actually same thing what he is writing here. He could have slept, but he didn't slept and he wrote for purports for us. We should aspire to be reaching that stage, but we should not try to cross the boundaries. If there is 8 hours, and that's the part which I'll try to cover towards later part, okay? His ideal in this respect is Srila Rupa Goswami. So this is Srila Prabhupada, correct? His ideal in this respect is Srila Rupa Goswami, who was always engaged in the service of Krishna, who could not sleep more than 2 hours a day. Yeah, and sometimes not even that. Thakur Haridas would not even accept prasadam, not even sleep for a moment without finishing his daily routine of chanting with his beats 300,000 names. As far as work is concerned, a Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not connected with Krishna's interest. And thus, his work is always regulated and is untainted by sense gratification. Since there is no question of sense gratification, there is no material leisure for a person in Krishna consciousness. And because he is regulated in all his work, speech, sleep, wakefulness, and all other bodily activities, there is no material misery for him. End of purport. So this here, Srila Prabhupada gives a very deep analysis, and it is very concentrated words on how a yogi or how a particular person should try to live his life. What I've tried to do is, I try to unpack some of the cases. Prabhu, we can go to the slide again. Get down. Yeah, one more. Oh, I have no, Prabhu has that. Oh, remote. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Conditioning, correct? Yeah. Yeah, so we can talk about this. So if you look at Yuktahara Viharasya, so ahara is like input to senses, what we give. And the input to senses can be long amount of time on computers, correct? What happens if you actually don't regulate, wash your eyes at regular interval, your eyes started getting, little problem, correct? So you need to balance how you are actually trying. Similarly, eating, correct? Viharasya is recreation. It doesn't mean that let's go for a beer, man, it's too late, This typically in our office, we hear that conversation, correct? Here, recreation means that if, say, for example, you're doing manual work, correct? If a farmer is doing work from morning to evening, he needs time to sleep so that he recreates the energy pools in him. Okay? Similarly, if you are even, your body has energies of physical work, even emotional. Sometimes you get emotionally drained, correct? So, your body has a cycle. We are actually solar-driven bodies. Did you realize that? We are actually solar-powered bodies. Our body runs like a solar clock, correct? So, you need to set it up appropriately so that your body gets rightly recreated. You eat apple, there are different enzymes coming in. You eat guava, there are different enzymes coming in, correct? Hopefully, I don't know it, but I hope that, correct? The digestion is different for each of them. So the body has to replenish all those sources. And if there is a violation, that's when the diseases come. That's why I say, for example, if insulin is not there, people get diabetes. They have to take extra doses of it, correct? But if you allow body to recreate itself nicely, correct? You do in small or regulated, things will be fine, okay? Body maintenance needs, like, say, think of it, if people are not sleeping right on time, or they are not taking right amount of food, correct? People go like on fasting. This is actually, by the way, not recommended as per, for yogis and all, but for bhaktas, like devotees who are expiring, you should not, if you understand you are haunted with a super soul inside. We just proved that we are haunted by super soul inside, correct? So, don't give that super soul trouble, correct? That super soul is inside us, correct? So, but you have to be regulated. It should not be like from morning to evening you are drinking like 10 glasses of Pepsi or Coca-Cola. Vaisheshika Prabhu said that, you get the pleasure of life. Nothing like that, correct? So get into what is eatable, drinkable, and then modulate those part. Fine? Prescribe duties. Say right now, if someone, say for example, in a Vedic culture, we have, based on our ages and one in ashram, we have various duties to perform. Don't try to change your varna or ashram without any reason, correct? Say for example, if we are grahastha, some of us, like if I start behaving like a sannyasi, like, there will be catastrophe in the civilization, correct? So, at least do what you are supposed to do. You can also try to go ahead of it, but not by compromising on your duties. Example, if you have kids, take care of them nicely. You can get ready for Vanaprastha. Say for example, Shivas Pandit Prabhu, we should start thinking around that, correct? But not telling our wife. Yeah, she's hopefully not watching, correct? So, but right now, the duty is, I have kids, Prabhu has kids, we have to go to job, we have to attend job, we have to earn money, we have to take care of family, we have to take care of the Vaishnavas, because if you look at it, out of the 4 ashrams, brahmachari, does brahmachari earns? Does Vanaprastha earns? Obviously, sannyasi doesn't earns, but sannyasi gets a lot of donation, but ideally sannyasi doesn't earns, correct? So, who is the single ashram in the society who earns? Grahastha. How many years you can be Grahastha? Maximum 25, correct? So, use that opportunity, get ready. It is okay to modulate few years here and there. That's not a problem. But whatever is given, do your duty well. Once you start getting, some people may get 5 years earlier, some people may get 5 years later. It is okay. But try to work it out. Because don't leave your duty. Otherwise, it's like Arjuna in the beginning wanted to run away from his occupational duty. What did Krishna said? Klebhyam. What the word he used? Impotent. Like think of it, Arjuna, man. Like he is such a chivalrous fighter. And what is the word Krishna is using? Klebhyam. You impotent. You're trying to run away from this battlefield. Because Krishna, as Shivas Pandit Prabhu has told us, that Arjuna would have gone to the forest and he would have started killing the animals, correct? Because that purification is not there. So, whatever is our prescribed duties, we should do it with the aim of look forward and plan for the next ashram. Not that you leave your current occupational duties and start doing the next ashram duty. When the time comes, when the seniors around you tells, I think it's the time for you to move on, you should take it. Be ready rather than getting ready and making mistakes. Cool? Everybody together? Yeah? Similarly, sleep and wakefulness. Sometimes devotees, they ruin their body. Oh, they wake till 2 o'clock and then wake up again at 4 o'clock, take a shower, Mangalarti. And it is good for 3-4 days, festival time and all. It's going to ruin your body. Yeah? Don't do that. Krishna himself is telling, Yukta hara viharasya. Okay, why this shloka is important is my Guru Maharaj gave me this personal instruction. So that's why it is like, we software engineers, stupid we, correct? For work we spend sometimes lot amount of time, correct? That's not good. So what I've tried to do is it's inspired by Balgovind Prabhu, but I try to add a flavor on top of it. So basically what we can do, regulation, if you look at it is, Prabhu said was, there are 3 ways you can regulate. One is time of activity, another is quantity and quality. Whether it's, say, for example, your japa, it's very important. You can do japa 24 hours, correct? But it is prescribed, best time to do japa is when? What time? Morning. Brahma Muhurat, correct? So if you do, your effectiveness, the quality will improve if you are doing it in the morning, correct? You can do it in the evening. Like most of the people, some of the people I see, some of the people I see, they have to catch up the rounds. At least they're doing 16 rounds, correct? Which is good. But try to follow the moderation. It's good for you, correct? Similarly, food. Some people, time of activity, as I say, we are bio clock, correct? We are driven by solar power. So it has been told that don't eat too much in the night. Don't eat after sunset, correct? This concept doesn't exist in Western world, correct? I see in my office most of the heavy dinners happen in the evening and I'm sitting there trying to pass time and let the meeting be over, and people are eating like this. Not good for them, because sun helps in kind of digesting the food stuff. First of all, they eat all crazy stuff, and then on top of it, when you're eating large volumes in later part of the day, it's not good. So it's very important what time, what activity, what time. So you can see like heavy meal should be at the lunch time, correct? And then quantity, sometimes, especially devotees from East, they make like a whole Govardhan Parvat, and I see some devotees, they gain weight so much very soon, which is okay, but be regulated. This Krishna is not saying, so these are all signs, and senior Vaishnavas will not tell you directly, correct? But then they observe. I have seen like my Gurudev sometimes, oh, you are looking like having good time in Brahmachari ashram, So, follow like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Amoga Leela Prabhu was telling, correct? So, be regulated. It's good. If devotees are exchanging with love, giving you more pressure, it's okay. But on a regular basis, you have to mind your, yukta hara viharasya. I'll keep it like that. So basically, we all know what does Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So if you look into the quality of food good in the mode of goodness, increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. So I had this, most of you know that, but considering the Sunday class, all these things are there in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita takes you from level A to level Z. So in case you want to have a larger life, you know what is Ayurveda? Ayurveda means to increase life. Correct? These are all concepts coming from there. So if you need to get this, then you need to have juicy, fatty. Fatty are not the animal fat. These are actually the fats coming from the milk, okay, which are good for your body. Wholesome like grains and all. Pleasing to the heart. Correct? So this increases your life. But then there are things like chaat pakodi. How many of you have gone to Delhi and then in your past earlier eaten chaat pakodi, correct? So these are all foods that are bitter, too sour. And there is a word too written in the beginning. They mind it, correct? Bitter and sour is okay, but too bitter, too sour. Because Krishna, while we are doing the Bhoga Arti, Mother Yashoda is also offering 12 kinds of Dwadasha Pakara, correct? But they are not too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery, and disease. So, if you are actually getting disease, try to look for the food which you are eating. Just a small comparison, correct? I don't know scientifically, but if I have to take kiwi and if I have to take orange, correct? Both are said to be very rich source of vitamin C. No, now this is not done any research. Do you think the kiwi, I find it so sour. It's like very, very sour, correct? Some of the kiwis. And some of the oranges are. So you can distinct which is like, people say it's very good source of vitamin C, but I'm sure overdose creates some kind of issues also, correct? Similarly, this all, everybody know, food prepare more than 3 hours before being eaten. So all the wine, whiskeys and all fall under this without any questions asked, correct? Because they are prepared like 100 years, 50 years, 120 years, correct? Don't even think, correct? That is tasteless, decomposed. Again, you know, so much of alcohol gets generated. Putrid. Food consists of remnants and untouchable things, often dear to those in the mode of darkness. And what do? They're sleeping somewhere on the street, correct? So, Krishna knew all these things and he have defined very clearly for us, okay? So, you don't have to, so understand what Krishna has given. So, there are a lot of things like this, which are there in Bhagavad Gita. So as a person, at least start with what you eat. Like Vaisheshika Prabhu says, like, you know, you are person by what you hear, what you eat, you become like that, correct? So at least let's try to fix that part. What I have tried to do is, now I was asked to create a framework by which, how we should actually, so suppose we have a life. This, as I said, is a framework for a person who is not living in a village or those kind of a thing, correct? But it can be very much expanded to that part. So what I try to get some information and try to put together is, like, I divide it into 4 spheres and then try to create some kind of activities which we can do. And there is a quick dashboard which I try to create, which if you look at it, and if you are on the track, you can say whether you are going on right track or not. Do you want to see it? I am not convinced. Do you want to see it? Yes. Here you go. So basically, these are the 4 quadrants which we actually have broke our activities into. And I try to give, and these are just illustrated. Things can change. Activities and hours you should actually spend on. The 4th quadrant, I call it, is physical, where you have to take care of the basic needs of being an animal. Say, for example, a good animal. What are the tendencies? 4, defending, correct? These are the 4 basic things, correct? Eating, you know, a cow eats, a frog eats, a bird eats, and we also eat. It is just the degree of how sophistication we add, but finally we eat the same thing, correct? So I'm not going into that part. And then also people try to have physical well-being of, you know, 6 packs. I don't have those 6 packs. I'm not going to show you. You know, this balam, you know what you call this, biceps, you know? People think they are very healthy when they have big muscles. I tell you, wrestlers and people who are fighters are the people who don't live a very long life. So that's not a right conception of life, okay? So people who are like big muscular guys, that's not indicative of good health. Actually, physical talks about horsepower, bull power and all. Do you want to be called a bull or horsepower? No, as long as the body is right, the structure is going okay, I think we are good, fine with that, correct? So there are a lot of activities. If you don't sleep well, if you don't eat well, you will not be a very good animal. So I try to base that part. Then the 3rd part is your intellectual and mental. Because once you have solved this problem, in this world right now where there are economic equations which we need to solve. So all those activities like kids going to school, we going to job, I try to put into a mental and intellectual, because you have to, say for example, for you to become a big data engineer or for you to become a Java programmer, you need to spend time on first of all learning and then secondly performing. I'm not saying these are Vedic, but these are tricks of the trade. A barber used to learn this so that a barber in the Vedic civilization is doing his job of cutting hairs to earn a living, correct? So this was pretty much part of it. Then the second part I call it is a social emotional part. We are like all said and done. You may have the right level of intellectual, which is mapped to IQ, say for example. The fourth was your PQ, physical quotient. The third is your IQ. But many people have skills, but they don't know how to manage their emotions. And it's very important. And especially a country like United States, this is a very big problem. People don't know how to manage their emotions. Classical case is Michael Jackson, and many actually. They say they take so much of drugs. Like poor Michael Jackson. Like he used to have a dose which one has for surgery to get one night's sleep. You know, I have seen people in India or even in San Francisco, they sleep like on the road without any problem. Are those guys better or Michael Jackson better, you tell me? Huh? At least these guys are having a good night's sleep without any problem, huh? Not even having a proper blanket with them. So what you see as a comfort or convenience may not be really the true picture. So where I was going was, you need to create a very good emotional or social support around you to deal those kinds of problems. You know, you need to connect with people. Be a good friend. So that's why I'm calling the second as good friend. And then the first is a spiritual, which is good saint, your SQ. Correct? It's very important for us to spend our life in these 4 quadrants every day. And the basis again is yuktahara viharasya and your regulation. Everybody so far together? Now these are the kind of activities. So if you talk about the good animal, you have to take care of your diet. Yeah? Huh? You have to procure food, you have to cook food, and you have to consume food. Correct? And I'm not going into now all mode of goodness, passion, all those things which we have gone through. Correct? Sleep. You need to sleep at right time. Correct? People say sleep at 9, wake at 3. But if your work schedules are little tight, you should sleep by at least 10:30. Okay, and wake up by 4:30. Fine. Exercise, this is often neglected. Wherever the work increases, first thing which we do is cut the exercise, which is not right. Dancing is an exercise for all of you who do dancing here in Hare Krishna Kirtans. Huh? Similarly, on the third part, when you go craftsmanship, planning, visualizing, skill development, occupational duty, you need to spend time on that. Say, for example, going to work, getting stuck into freeway, as Prabhu was saying, 101 is a parking lot. I loved that very much, This will be part of it. And we have finite 24 hours. Correct? You have to live your life appropriately. The second part is having a good friend. Try to have at least 5 to 6 good people around you who can be with you when you need them. Correct? Where you can actually connect. Oh, Dandvat Pranam, Satidev Prabhu ki jai. Prabhu, please come. Please come. We'll just finish in few minutes and Prabhu can. So, okay. So coming there, so this is very important. How to become a good friend. Cultivate these qualities of having smooth relationship with devotees especially, or your office, or anywhere. And then the last is the spiritual part. Prabhu. Okay. Last is the spiritual part, which is again generally neglected. And this, what we need to do is read literature. Most of us are reading Chad here, which is good. Any kind of practice, meditation, observe yourself. Most of us are busy, in our life. We hardly stop and contemplate and see. So even devotees, they are in Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran very less. Huh? So you need to get into that stage of reflections. How is it going? I did chanting. Does it helps? How many of you do it that? Yeah? I offered Bhoga like this. Was my consciousness right? This is very important, I'm saying you. Because people don't do it. And until otherwise it will be like, yatha sthane, you will continue to do for next 20 years. Object will not move. Okay. I'm taking it as a... So then what I have tried to put is also an hour. This is a preliminary part, as I said, and I'll get into the details of it. So at least spend 1 hour in your diet. Okay? Eating, procuring goods. 8 to 10 hours is on a larger side, on a physical. But at least try to have around 8 hours minimum. Sleep, you can plan for around 6 hours. As I said, if you sleep by 9 and wake by 3, you should be good with that. But as you delay from 9 to 11, you will need a larger amount of sleep. Yeah? Exercise minimum 30 minutes. Go for a walk. You finish your morning japa and then take your bead bag and go for another 35 minutes of japa walk. Correct? It will help you. Go on a gym. Maybe every 1 week, run for 35 minutes or jog for 35 minutes. So you're not overly doing it, but you're keeping your body intact. So it will help you to become a good animal. Then when your animal propensities are fulfilled, then you should to start going into your intellectual part. How do you actually do your skill development? Because we most of us are in our occupational duty, correct? If you're spending in your job, so I have just clubbed it as 8 hours to 10 hours. If your job is taking more than 10 hours, you are doing something wrong. And you need to again come back to this stuff and see how you actually balance it. Minimum 2 to 4 hours, I will say, you should be acting as a social animal, where you are helping people grow in their life. Have some, it's not Facebook, by the way. Social and emotional, I'm not talking about Facebook, huh? People spend a lot of time on WhatsApp and Facebook. That's not what I'm looking. I'm talking about where you become empathetic, where you are feeling useful to others. See, I tell you why. I was reading one of the video, seeing one of the video, and the guy was saying that earlier, when the meetings used to have an in-person meeting used to happen, the relationship used to be built during those small talks. Hey, how are you? How's your wife? Oh, she's not feeling well. Why? Oh, her mother is sick. And that's how you build the relationship. So next time when you're meeting, you will ask, hey, how is your mother-in-law doing? And then this guy will think, oh my God, this guy really is interested in me. Look at what is happening. Selfie, I am here, I am sitting in front of Taj Mahal. This is how we are actually doing our day-to-day life, correct? Please do not fool yourself. Facebook friends are not your real friends. WhatsApp messenger messages are not the real friends which you are having. I don't say that stop that, you should, some people use it for their seva, but be aware, because you have finite hours to play. Why I'm saying is this is a day in life of each of us, correct? And then the last part is get a good saint. You need to at least read some part of literature. Bible, Quran, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, meditation as I talked about. And if you look at it, what I am asking is minimum of around 4 hours, minimum of 1 hour for beginners. And you can go till 4 hours without any issue. Even in your job, you can do that. Yeah? For people who are full-time, for them, like Madhav, Govind, Prabhu and all, they spend much more higher hours than this. For people like us, you can think of a japa, 1.5, 2 hours goes direct like that. If you're doing chad, 15 minutes goes like that. You should add at least, I am hoping, at least an hour of Bhagavatam. If not, please add it. Correct? So, if you do and then, meditate upon what you are doing. Correct? Contemplate. And then the juice will come out. Bhakti Vedanta purports, you will get it for $10, okay, like this. But the real fun comes when you actually become like Mother Yashoda and start doing the manthan of these purports. That's when the butter comes out. So don't just lose it like that, the opportunity. The book is with us, somehow. We are giving books to others. But we have the books at least, correct? Let's try to read those books. So So another secret is that when you spend time on spiritual, it releases some internal thing so that your social automatically starts getting better, your intellectual things get better, and your physical things get better. Actually, this is how it works. And if you focus on more emotional and social, your intellectual and physical things get better. And then if you are on the intellectual, your physical gets better. Correct? So it's better we focus on the spiritual side. So this is a quick dashboard which I have tried to put together, how you can actually spend your life. This is exclusively for Grahastha part who are actually on a day-to-day job. Okay? And people can but take the idea and then put it in their respective part also. So say for example, I said in case you are spending 12 hours in your job, stop it. 1 day is okay. 2 days are again getting to a wrong side. Red alert or a yellow signal. Come back and see what are the other things which you are. I bet you your sadhana will not be right if you're working for 12 hours a day. Bet you on that. You will be sleeping less. Exercise will be, until unless you are George W. Bush, you will be skipping the exercise. Okay. And then your kids will be away, your wife will be, hey, you're not giving me time. Friends will say, yaar, baith nahi rahe ho. All those kinds of things will happen. Correct? So bring up, because again, yuktahara viraharasya. Krishna has given the thing, balance. So this is the balance basically. Think of it. You need to recreate. You need to eat, sleep, do it well. Correct? Then, if you establish in this way, you will be able to mitigate the pangs, the material pangs. Okay? Because if the trouble comes, because you have the spiritual guidance, you will be able to look it with a different lens. If the spiritual angle is missing and the boss comes and gives a different wrong appraisal, we'll be very reactive. But if you have done your right spiritual sadhana in the morning, if there is a distraction, and why I am telling it is, US is a very, very difficult place to live in. Take my words on that. Whatever I have spent like 18 years in US, especially as from 25 to 35 or 40, life is like a honeymoon here. Now, as you actually grow senior in the organization, first of all, your paycheck goes up. So you become more vulnerable, more politics. You need your calm mind. Everybody is there to take care of you. If you are not productive, company sees you as a burden. So, what used to happen in India society when the old man is not able to work, correct? Here, they start treating you after 35, 40 itself. And that's the time when your kids are getting ready to school, your mortgage is at the right, moment. So people should need all these things because they are trying to solve the problem without keeping the spiritual angle and the emotional angle. And that is why there are so many suicides, because if they are disappointed and nobody is giving them social support, emotional support, spiritual support, these are practical things which are missing in the society. In this society, it becomes very difficult for them to get this kind of support. Cool? I was also asked before this class, to share my experiences, last 2-3 years of my experience. And I tell you, I went through this. And just wanted to give just 2 to 3 minutes or 3 to 4 minutes on my realizations and what it helped me. So what I will say is, get ready for inevitable. Okay. Why I tell you is, till February 2015, I had a very good job at Apple. And that's the time my mother was sick, she passed away. And I said, I've done so much for Apple. Let me try to do something on my own. Correct? And I was saying, hey, inko $1 billion dilaya, let me try to do something. I was super confident. And I walked out of Apple. Correct? And I planned like at least 11 steps. By Krishna's mercy, I had made a lot of good and material things previously. And I thought, oh, it will be fine. I have this. If not this, then this. If not this, then this. If not this, then this. Like I have like 11, I remember 11 failover plans I had, one after the other. Okay. And I said, okay, let me take a plunge. I went out, correct? And then I realized very, very quickly, okay, that people who I gave business like $5 million, $6 million every year, they were saying, hey, Deepak, my non-initiated name Deepak, hey, Deepak, what can we do for you? And I trusted the word. I said, okay, yeah, when the time comes, I'll tell you, correct? I have like at least 10 of those friends which were doing business like minimum $5 million with me. And I said, Arey, I have all these friends with me. You know, I have to just go out, tell them, because Deepak Chandani, you know how he performs. And guess what? When I went out, I went to first guy. I saw things changing. That's when I realized that people were actually looking at me as a designation of Apple employee rather than Deepak Chandani. Correct? And very soon I realized that, hey, remove all these curtains. It's not going to work out. Then basically, at that point of time, good part was that I was connected with Krishna consciousness. And I said, okay, good time, let me start spending more time. That's when actually all the San Bruno program, Saratoga program, ISV involvement, I started, I have time, let me do that. And that actually helped me. And Vaisheshika Prabhu says that, Seva will save you. So, whenever such kinds of things are coming, pick it. First of all, you should get ready, that you are having. And then just grab the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. Look at Mahaprabhu, everybody. What is he doing? What is he telling? What does this mean? This means he is showing his lotus feet. Pakdo. Yeah. Hold them. Yeah. Mahaprabhu is giving direct instruction. Yeah. And we should follow that. Yeah. I tell you, it will really help you. Yeah. And then read Srila Prabhupada's book daily. That's another thing. Don't waste your time. Why I'm telling it, I have people who have gone through this and few of them have committed suicide. Like in US I'm talking about. Because what happens is, after a month or 2, 3, 4, wife gets little anxious. Kids will start asking questions. Daddy, you are still at home. What happened? Are you not getting a job, Daddy? And our ego is hurts, correct? And same with others. I'm not saying so you need to have, why I'm saying is emotional support. I tell you, my kids, Unnati is here. Unnati, Vasudev and Anu was so favorable to me during that. Never ever they asked anything during that 1.5 hours. By Krishna's grace, now I have 3 times what I was making at Apple. But, that period was there. So the clock goes like this, correct? It goes like 12 and then it goes also after some time to 6. Yeah? Summer is coming. But then after spring, summer, winter will again come. And try whatever. Again winter will go and spring will come. So life goes in cycles. All these manus are coming in cycles. Brahma's days and nights are going, hamari kya aukaat hai yaar? Yeah? Who are we? Correct? So all these things will happen. So get ready for inevitable. Yeah? Surrender. Yeah? That's going to help you. Especially, we have been so lucky to be given this Mahamantra, to be given this literature. If we attach our mind, soul to this, it's going to help us big way. Yeah? I'll just keep it like that. And then all these things you can actually apply. So anytime any problem comes, increase your reading, increase your sadhana, increase your seva. That's what I will say. Okay? And also, when things are happening, like Steve Jobs said, things don't make sense when it is happening now, but when you look back, everything will look connected. I have seen that happening to me. In fact, in my job, they were not sure whether I can manage the finance. So I am the CEO for India, correct? So then say, this young boy, I don't know whether he can manage finance. And then someone was looking into my LinkedIn and they found that I am the treasurer of ISKCON of Silicon Valley. They said, if he can manage the finance of a non-profit company, he can easily manage the finance of a corporate company. So I'm saying I never thought this way, correct? But how Krishna reciprocates is you don't even know. So, surrender yourselves, be ready. Anything can happen. Like, it should not be when we say that we can die anytime. Actually, we say so many times that people have become immune to that. I don't even know whether we actually feel that we can die anytime. How many of you actually say that we can die anytime, but actually say it from your heart? It's so common that people just say, "Arey, yaar, janam itte jara vyadhi." Arey, bhai, samjho. Yeah, it's for you. We are telling others, but we have to realize. There are two things Krishna says: knowledge and realization. Knowledge. So everybody knows, I am not this body, I am a spiritual soul, I am a spirit soul. That is called, what is realization? You actually act on it. If things are going bad, oh, okay, I'm going to die. I'm not this material body. I'm a spirit soul. That's the right test. Yeah? Also, I wanted to talk about now, since I will be focusing on, so spiritual, please, read Srila Prabhupada's book. That's where I'll say, and we'll see some of the reasons why reading Srila Prabhupada's book is important. Chanting, reading Srila Prabhupada's book, if you follow these two nicely, it is going to help you big time. I'll also focus on the third part, which is how do we actually try to spend our time on occupational duty. That's because that was what was asked to me. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has given this very famous quote. Everybody says that in India. I don't know if people understand what does it mean. Karmanevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhu mate sangosta akarmani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Okay, this is again for software engineers working in Bay Area in a multi-billion-dollar company. Okay, chalo, let's go behind me. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. So this is, say, for example, someone working in, say, for example, Yahoo, correct? Say our Achyuta. So he's working in Yahoo. His prescribed duty is to go there and work at Yahoo. Krishna is giving him this right now, whatever, till some Vaisheshika Prabhu, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj says, Achyuta, you have to do like this. He's doing that, correct? And he has the right to perform his prescribed duty. If he starts ignoring Yahoo job, that's a misdemeanor from his part. He should be very tactful on how he should do his job. Right now, that is his job. But you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Be very clear. Salary, you are getting, but and we'll get into the details. Why you are getting, how you are doing, this is very important. Yeah? Never consider yourselves to the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached of not doing your duty. It's very, very important. If people understand this in their life, their work life will become so easy. So can we read the purport, Prabhuji? Is it possible? Is there someone there? Yeah? Prabhu 247 purport. India में actually people say कर्म किए जाओ फल की चिंता मत करो. Have you heard that? कर्म किए जाओ फल की चिंता मत करो. चिंता क्यों नहीं करो भाई? And that was my part. Like you have to have an impetus to do an action. Correct? If you don't do chinta, how will you do it? Say, for example, MSF goals. Vaisheshika Prabhu puts the goals. Goals are potent, we say that. Correct? But if we say, Are Vaisheshika Prabhu, mercy, goal will be fulfilled. Why do I worry? This is not Krishna saying, Baba. You have the right to do your prescribed duty. Results, leave him. But you have to make a chestata. You have to make an attempt to do that. Okay? Let's read purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are three considerations here. Prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of one acquired modes of material nature. Capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority, and inaction means not performing one's prescribed duty. The Lord advised that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duties without being attached to the result. Correct? The same language what Krishna gave to Arjuna is applicable wholly, solely for us. Correct? One who is attached to the result of the work is also the cause of the action. Thus is the enjoyer or sufferer from the result of such action. Such a minor point. So if you are trying to enjoy the result, you get attached. Yeah? So you have to slowly, it will not happen in a day. But you have to start cultivating how to get yourself away from result. It takes time. Yeah? As far as prescribed duties are concerned, they can fit it into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work performs as an obligation in terms of scriptural injunctions without desire for result, is action in the mode of goodness. Work with result becomes the cause of bondage. Yeah? Therefore, such work is not auspicious. So, say for example, if you are earning salary for the result of doing something on your own, Prabhupada is saying that is not auspicious. Yeah? It's very clearly mentioned. Everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the result. Yeah? See, this is very important because we misplace our thing. Such disinterested, obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. So, if one becomes disinterested on all these obligatory duties, doubtlessly, like where? To the result of those duties. He doubtlessly leads one to the path of liberation. If you do like that, Srila Prabhupada says that you will go to the path of liberation. Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. His non-participation in the battle is other side of attachment. So there is one thing which is saying that, hey, I am not trying to do that, correct? So is it, you are showing your disattachment, basically. So his non-participation in the battle, other side of the coin. Any attachment, positive or negative, is cause for bondage. So this is for devotees, they hear it a lot, but for normal people, the attachment not necessarily positive, even a negative attachment is a problem. Yeah? Inaction is sinful. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna. And you can interpret it in your life. You know, I'll just leave it to you. As a matter of duty is the only auspicious path of salvation for you in a particular context. Till the ashram changes and all. Fair? We can read the other one also, Prabhu. 48. Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. Again, we got the same connection, correct? What is yoga? When you are doing all these prescribed duties with, not getting too excited, equipoised, that's called yoga. Yoga is not like building muscles, yoga for prenatal woman, yoga for weight loss, yoga for this, yoga for that. Yoga is this. You can do yoga in your job. yoga of a SAP consultant, yoga of a big data engineer, correct? You can do all those things. Arjuna was throwing arrows, you can write code, correct? This exactly where it maps to, yeah? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Krishna tells Arjuna that he should act in yoga. And what is that yoga? Yoga means to concentrate the mind upon the Supreme by controlling the ever-disturbing senses. And who is the Supreme? The Supreme is the Lord. And because he himself is telling Arjuna to fight, Arjuna has nothing to do with the results of the fight. See, Arjuna could have even lost. Yeah? Gain or victory are Krishna's concerns. See, this is very important. Promotion milla hai, nahi milla is Krishna's concern. Yeah? We don't act in that platform. Arjuna is simply advised to act according to the direct dictation of Krishna. The following of Krishna's dictation is real yoga. What is the definition of real yoga? The following of Krishna's dictation is real yoga. And what is Krishna's dictation, my dear friends? Where has Krishna dictated what to do? Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a direct dictation of Krishna to Arjuna, where Sanjaya is taking notes, you know? Yeah? Through Ved Vyas, correct? So, yeah? And this is practiced in the process called Krishna consciousness. By Krishna consciousness, only one can give up the sense of proprietorship. So, Srila Prabhupada is very clear. Can you do this by anything besides Krishna consciousness? No. So don't try other things. By Krishna consciousness only, one can give up the sense of proprietorship. One has to become the servant of Krishna, or the servant of Krishna. That is the right way to discharge duty in Krishna consciousness, which is alone can help one to act in yoga. Yeah? All this acting in yoga is not standing on one foot and then doing yoga. Those austerities are not the real yoga Prabhupada is mentioning in his purport, or Krishna is telling Arjuna. Fair? Yeah? Arjuna is a Kshatriya. And what are we? Most of us are Shudras. And such as he is participating in the Varnashram Dharma institution, it is said in the Vishnu Puran that in the Varnashrama Dharma, the whole aim is to satisfy who? Me or Vishnu? Vishnu, huh? Me matlab aap sab log bhi, huh? No one should satisfy himself, as is the rule in the material world. But one should satisfy Krishna. So unless one satisfies Krishna, one cannot correctly observe the principles of Varnashram Dharma. Okay? So people in Varnashram Dharma, cow protection is good, correct? But all those things should be done to satisfy Krishna. Not that I am having ahimsa milk because it's so good to my tongue. That's not Varnashram Dharma. Get it clear out of the way. Huh? Yeah? So, say for example, a barber, as I was giving the thing, barber did not needed to go to Nalanda universities or Takshila universities in the past, correct? Because that guy used to very quickly learn how to do the shave or, shave the head, correct? And then that person was helping his father. But the goal was that he is earning enough, Nanvat's mother, and then trying to use the time, so take care of the family, and using his skill of a barber, now he is also expected to actually progress in his Varnashrama and then meditate on Lord and go back to Godhead. Do you think a king or a barber had any kind of different chance of going back to Godhead? Actually none. Both of them were qualified in a similar way. Yeah? So that's why Srila Prabhupada said, what did he said? The progress of an individual in devotion depends on what? Attitude. Correct? That's what I said in the beginning. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur did what? He established faith. what did Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did? Establish on attitude. And what did Srila Prabhupada said? Action. Now he just shaked everything together. Right faith, right attitude, and then action. Action, distribute book, do Harinam, Sankirtan, distribute prasad, build temples. All that. Prabhupada was always busy in action. Correct? That's how we have to do. Move our life around together in this way. Yeah? Where were we? One should spend, correct? Can we read from there? I missed it. Purport is complete? Wonderful. Yeah, thank you. And so we can go back to the slide, Prabhuji. So this is very, very important that, it doesn't mean, so I was on the point that we have the right to perform our prescribed duties, but we are not entitled to the fruits of action. So what it means in our day-to-day life is, if we are getting a salary, how do we actually have the propensity when we are saying we are not entitled to the fruits of action? So I wanted to draw a parallel that, if someone is saying that karam kiye jao phal ki chinta mat karo, do your action, don't worry about the result. It's not going to happen. Yeah? You have to worry for the result. Because if you do not worry about result, you will not get the right enthusiasm to perform. Because if it doesn't matter whether I do or I do not do, then you will be lethargic, isn't it? Yeah? Yeah? So that, and then if you do not have enthusiasm of doing it, when you are doing just like that, you will never have a bliss to do it. You will not get that ananda. And devotees want ananda, bliss in everything what they are doing. Correct? So basically, I have tried to put a use case here. Say, for example, when the goals of MSF are there, they go out every week to distribute books, correct? And Vaisheshika Prabhu said, goals are potent. If they say, I will, so they have the right to perform their duties. If they are able to distribute certain books on a particular day or not, it's not up to them. And many times, actually, we have seen Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually test devotees. They say, I will go out today. And for first 3 hours, not a single person takes books. Has it happened or not? It has happened with me a few times. Huh? And then when the moment you surrender, that, oh my God, Krishna, you are the controller, I am the controlled. Immediately 6-7 people will come, hey, what is this? Looks nice. I've been looking for this book. Can I get it? Correct? So the moment you move to that, super soul actually reacts on that. Cool? So the result, if you look at, if you are going out in the first case, when you are trying to distribute book because you are distributing, you are actually looking for the pleasure of yourself. The result was looking for yourself. But when you are actually doing it for Krishna, Krishna, I am doing it for you. These books will go out so that your glories will be spread. The results, then you become favorable on results part. Correct? So this is the beauty of it. Similarly, say donation for temple. Our two treasurers, Hari Sankirtan Prabhu and Surya Kunda Prabhu, let's give them a big round of applause. They tirelessly do so many services. Why are they doing all this so-called mundane service is on so-called, or seemingly, donations, collecting and all, it takes a lot of energy, correct? If Krishna's house is there, Krishna can take care of the temple by himself, correct? Why do we actually need treasurers like former me and now Prabhus? No, because we are not collecting money for ourselves. We want the house of Krishna to be run efficiently. Correct? Bills have to be paid, nice prasadam is cooked. All those things we want to manage it efficiently. And when we work on that, we get a special pleasure working for Krishna. So the prescribed duty of treasurer is there, but the result is for the pleasure of Krishna. Then you will get unimaginable joy. But if you are going on book distribution and the result is I will become the largest book distributor, that ecstasy will be not there. Yeah. So it's very important. And now I wanted to connect is actually, if for want of a time, what I will do is, do you guys know what is the central point of Bhagavad Gita? Huh? Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that. For want of time, I'll go quickly. In the preface, in fact, talks about volumes. Like when the first publication of Bhagavad Gita was printed, the publisher asked Srila Prabhupada to cut number of pages. And Srila Prabhupada was so depressed. Like, hey, why are you doing? So that when the further orders came, Srila Prabhupada ensured that the whole manuscript was actually put back. And this is actually towards the last. Instead of satisfying his own personal material senses, he has to, this is talking with the devotees, okay? He has to satisfy the senses of the Lord. Okay, so this is where, when you're talking about the results, offering result, this is where it is coming. This is the highest perfection of life. What is the highest perfection of life? Instead of satisfying your own personal material senses, if you satisfy the senses of the Lord, this is the highest perfection of life. The Lord wants this. And He demands it. One has to understand this central point of Bhagavad Gita. Have you realized this before this class? Yeah? Yes or yes? Yeah? I'll repeat it again because it's very important in core, Prabhus and Matas. Instead of satisfying his own personal material sense, that means I get a salary of 100K. My salary is higher than 100K, but suppose I get 100K, yeah? He has to satisfy the senses of the Lord. I use that 100K for the senses of the Lord. Yeah? That is the highest perfection of life. If, on the other side, instead of satisfying his personal material senses, he has to satisfy the senses of himself. That means 100K is for me, my family, not sharing. That is the imperfection of life. So please go from an imperfection to a perfectional stage. Yeah? It's a very small adjustment. The Lord wants this and He demands it from all of you. One has to understand the central point of Bhagavad Gita. So now if you use this to that shloka, things will become very easy. It is not that when you are going to job, you have the right to perform your prescribed duty, but you do not have the right for the results. But if you use the results for the benefit of the Lord, you can even have the entitlement to be worried about or to be caring about the result which is coming. Got it? Our Krishna conscious movement is teaching the whole world this central point, and because we are not polluting the theme of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Anyone seriously interested in deriving benefit by studying the Bhagavad Gita must take help from Krishna consciousness movement for practical understanding of Bhagavad Gita under the direct guidance of the Lord. We hope, therefore, that people will derive the greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we have presented it here. And if even one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success. This is Srila Prabhupada writing in, I think, 1972. Correct? Srila Prabhupada was so determined that even if one person becomes Krishna conscious, Srila Prabhupada wanted the movement to be, consider the movement to be successful. You all are here. Srila Prabhupada will be very, very happy with how the things are. So mind you, my dear friends, we have to satisfy the senses of the Lord. So when you are making prasad at home, correct? Bhoga, you are making it for yourself or you are making for the Lord? Yes? Huh? Someone will tell me? You make Goranga potato at home, correct? Is that Goranga potato for you or for the Lord? Huh? For the Lord. Excellent. Very good. You went to a job. Okay, let me go one by one. Huh? You dressed to come for the temple. You dressed yourself to show it to others, or you wanted to show it to the Lord? Huh? अरे भाई बोलो, जबान है, use करो. Yeah, use your tongue. Yeah, very good. For the Lord. You give confirmation. At least it will put you to think. So next time when you're wearing, you say, I'm doing it for the Lord. Huh? That's how life happens, huh? When I tell you, when I started taking class, and Achyuta is a life testimonial of that, correct? When you speak, you realize how much gap is there. And then you actually work on it, correct? So, not that I am perfect, huh? So, work on it. Work with me. It will help you, yeah? Then, if you are going for a job, yeah? Who are you going for the job? For the Lord. Please keep that in mind, huh? Okay, let me go to the... Then there are a lot of other things which are there. I actually did check on the various purports which Srila Prabhupada has mentioned, or Krishna has talked about the result. Maybe we'll quickly go through that. Prabhu, if you can go to 320, or let's go to 420. Prabhu, can we go to chapter 4, text 20? Yeah. I have a lot to talk. It's all about helping you how to, because we are caught in this job life. You know, come on, we cannot be sannyasis right now. Huh? By the way, if you act in a way what I just talked about, that giving results to Krishna, actually you are in a grasta ashram, almost working like a sannyasi. Yeah? So actually it's a more difficult job to do that way. So make yourself ready towards, we'll go 420, Prabhu. Yeah, I'll just go to the translations and purport. Abandoning all attachment to the result of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. So this is a software engineer working at Google, Apple, Microsoft, etc., etc. This actually, think of it and apply it, Mataji's Prabhus, in your life, okay? This freedom from the bondage of action is possible only in Krishna consciousness. When one is doing everything for Krishna, a Krishna conscious person acts out of pure love for Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he has no attraction for the results of action. Just again, monitor yourselves. He is not even attached to his personal maintenance, for everything is left to Krishna. Nor is he anxious to secure things, nor to protect things already in his possession. He does his duty to the best of his ability and leaves everything to Krishna. Such an unattached person is always free from the resultant reactions of good and bad. It is as though he were not doing anything. This is a sign of akarma, or actions without fruitive reactions. Any other action, therefore, devoid of Krishna consciousness is binding upon the worker. And that is the real aspect of vikarma, as explained here in before. So very, very important. If you are thinking, hey, I moved the mountains to deliver this project, I have expected at least a legendary rating on that. Oh, my project manager, you are ruining my life. I need at least an A+. You are bounded. Very good. You know, it doesn't mean that you should not play your cards well. Huh? I'm not suggesting that. Because sometimes you may have, let me get an A, I'll collect $1 million and open a farm. Correct? It is okay. Then you have changed your consciousness towards that area. And it's a very mature way to do things. Cool? Let's get the next one. Such a man of 421. Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions. This is a man in Silicon Valley. Yeah? Purport. A Krishna conscious person does not expect good or bad results in his activities. His mind and intelligence are fully controlled. He knows that because he is part and parcel of the Supreme, The part played by him as a part and parcel of the whole is not his own activity but is only being done through him by the Supreme. Very important concept, yeah? When the hand moves, Srila Prabhupada gives an analogy. When a hand moves, it does not move out of his own accord, but by the endeavor of the whole body. लगता है ना, अरे मैंने यार तीस मार लिया, मैंने मेहनत की यार. I'm the one who moved the mountains, you know. When the project was in mess up, I actually worked 20 hours and bought this project out. You forgot all my contributions, Mr. Project Manager. I did that actually to my project manager a lot. I gave such a hard time. You know, but when I look at back now, I think this was a stupid thing, you know. I wish Prabhupada's purport came earlier in my life, you know. Yeah. A Krishna conscious person is always dovetailed with the supreme desire. For he is no desire for personal sense gratification. He moves exactly like part of a machine. Yeah. As a machine part requiring oiling and cleaning for maintenance, very important. So a Krishna conscious man maintains himself by his work just to remain fit for action in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Again, yuktahara, vihara, say everything will fit together. If you see the jigsaw puzzle comes very close, dancing, all the shlokas will dance in front of your eyes. He is therefore immune to all the reactions of his endeavors. Like an animal, he had no proprietorship even over his own body. A cruel proprietor of an animal sometimes kills the animal in his possession. Yet the animal does not protest, nor does it have any real independence. A Krishna conscious person fully engaged in self-realization has very little time to falsely possess any material object. For maintaining body and soul, he does not require unfair means of accumulation. He does not therefore become contaminated by such material sin. He is free from reactions to his actions. So now you can see, even if he is working in an office, because, and later Krishna says, the process, everything, consummation, everything becomes Brahman. It is made for that, correct? So that is how a particular matter becomes spiritual. Like why a bhoga becomes spiritual? Because the intent, when you actually impose it, it becomes spiritual. Similarly, a karma or an action, which you impose it with Krishna consciousness feelings, it becomes from a material actions to a spiritual actions. We have a lot to discuss, but we are running short of time, and there is Aarti which will begin. I will say, please read 22, 23 later. Thank you so much for your time. If there are any questions, I will be around, happy to discuss. Thank you so much.